Hello and welcome to MAT 0028 or 0018. This orientation video is for both classes. And first, I'd like to welcome you to the course. Glad you're here. Glad you're taking the online class. My name is James Wilson, and I am going to be your instructor for this course. And basically what I want to do in this video is just kind of give you an overview of the syllabus. I want to take you through my math lab, how it works, and I just want to discuss some strategies with you, answer some frequently asked questions, and just kind of let you know the structure, overall structure of the class. Okay, so first let's do this. Let's talk about your grade and where it comes from. So your grade is going to come from a combination of things, but mostly the test. So your tests are 55% of your overall grade. That is a big chunk. As you can see, it's more than half. And so it is impossible to pass the class without passing your test. And so that's why you want to adopt a strategy that has the passing the test as the center of your execution strategy for passing this class. The homework has to be seen in that light. In other words, what the homework does is prepare you for the test. Obviously, those who do well in the homework, those who get 100% on the homework, which is very possible because you can do questions over online. So it's very possible to get 100% on the homework. And the better you do on the homework, the better you're going to do on the test. So you want to get a good grade on the test. Another 30% of your grade is going to go to homework, which all homework is done online in this class, and quizzes, and all quizzes are done online in this class. So as you can see, I've pulled up the syllabus on the screen. So a lot of this is already in the syllabus, but what I'm doing is just for those of you who just want the reinforcement of the main ideas. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so quizzes and homework are done online. The due dates will be right there online. When you sign in, you'll see the due dates online, and you can also get that on the lecture schedule. You want to pay close attention to those due dates and make sure that you're turning in the homework and turning in the assignments on time. A big misconception is that because this is an online class, that we can just turn in the work. A lot of people think they can just turn in the work all at the end. I don't have a lot of people who pass this class by doing it that way. We still have due dates for each homework, and they come pretty rapidly. So you want to keep ahead of that. So the online class allows you the flexibility to do the work in your own location. However, in terms of when they are due, that isn't as flexible. So you do want to make sure that you are following the due dates for that. Okay. For notebook, I would suggest for your notebook that and I'm only going to say this in the video because I want to see who listens to this, and I'm not going to say it in the actual syllabus. But I plan on giving extra credit for homework only. You can't get extra credit on test, but I will give a little extra credit towards your homework grade, provided you have a notebook. And what I would like to see in that notebook is two things. Number one, while you are watching the instructional videos, because each lesson has a corresponding video that will teach you how to do that assignment. While you are watching that video, if you could be taking notes. Research states that students who take notes do far better if they take them in a written format, as opposed to taking them typing them out. Especially with mathematics, it's almost impossible to take notes trying to type it out. So you would want to work the problems with them. And so if you're able to do that, and then when it's time to do the homework, if you can, in an organized fashion, write all of your problems out. Problem number 1, problem number 2, problem number 3, and write them out in a notebook. And if you can show me that notebook and I can see all of the lessons and all of the homework, I am going to give you some extra credit towards your homework grade. So that's a very good incentive to make sure that you are actually using the notebook, and try to keep it organized, and try to number things. And this is going to benefit you, because trust me, those who take notes in this fashion do much better in their class. Okay, let's discuss test. Test is a big, as you said, it's 55, as I said, it's 55% of the grade. There are three tests, Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3. Okay? That's how we refer to those tests. So when you get your emails from me, I will be referring to the test number, Unit 1, 2, or 3. You need to understand that all tests are taken at the Plant City campus. Now, I want to emphasize this. I want to emphasize this very strongly because even though this is an online class, the test must be taken in campus on the proctored campus where we have a test proctor there. I'm the test proctor. Now, so I will be, and let me just say this: I will be there. And I can be there if you need me to. I can be there a little bit early to kind of go over questions with you. I will be the one grading your test. Those of you who would like to see your grade, I'll stay behind, show you your grade right then and there. I suggest that. That's the best way to do it because, in most face-to-face classes, the teacher would hand you your test maybe in the next class session. Right, so if you had a test on a Monday, you can get your test back on a Wednesday. Well, we're in an online class, so there's no way for you to know. Now, I will be uploading your grade right away. You'll see your grade. But how do you improve on your grade if you don't know if you don't know what mistakes you made on the test? So if you want to stay behind, I'll grade that for you right then and there, and then I'll hand it to you, and you can look at it, go home, and try to, and you can learn from that. And you can actually use, of course, you'll use a test to study for the final exam as well. So I would definitely recommend you just get it graded right then and there, and then take it home and use that to study for your final. Now, I also want to say this: any test that you make below a 70 on, you are allowed to retake that test for up to a 70% maximum grade. And so, if that happens, you just need to see me on how to schedule that process, and we'll start that for you. There will be times when you may not be able to make a test, and that's okay. We have a procedure in place for that as well. You are allowed to take the test at the Plant City campus before the test date. So if the test date's on the 20th, and you know that you will have say a court date, or you have a doctor's appointment on the 20th, then you have to email me and let me know. But prior to, you can't wait until the 20th, and you definitely don't want to wait until the 19th or 18th. I have to have enough time to prepare, and so you would email me before. Then I would have to get with the Plant City Test Center, and then you and the Plant City Test Center would then arrange a time to take that test. You cannot call the Plant City Test Center on their own. Some students did that last semester. They called the test center on their own because they knew that they couldn't make it. But the problem is, I am the one who tells them, who sends them the information for you and make sure that there's a test there for you. So if you don't call me, you'll show up to the test center and you'll have no test to take. So you want to always let me know first, then I will approve it, and then let the Plant City Test Center know, and then you show up there with your ID and you'll take it. And you could do that before the test. Now, someone's going to ask me, what happens if I'm out of town? This is online. And unfortunately, at this time, we can only accommodate tests that are taken at the Plant City Test Center. All right? All right. Now, attendance. Okay, so attendance, the way attendance is marked is you signing up for the class and you registering for the class counts as your first day of attendance. So you want to sign up right away. You can sign up for temporary access even if you didn't purchase an access code yet. Go ahead and sign up because that's your attendance, and my math lab gives you, maybe a week or two to get the funds ready. So you can actually sign up, log in, start your assignments, and that way I can count you as present. And then, of course, they'll give you some time to get the funds, and then you'd have to make sure though that you complete the rest of the funding process. Complete the rest of the payment process before the deadline is up, so you don't lose all your assignments. But you can start right away. So that's it. That's everything I want to say. As far as the syllabus, the only other thing I need to say is You can get help. The way that you get help is you can, there are three ways, two of which I can tell you about. One way is obviously me. You can email me. If you are emailing me about a question, and I can try to help you with that question, or maybe, even scribble on a piece of paper and however we can communicate with each other. If there's a problem with them, or a problem that you keep getting wrong and you don't know what you did, and you can maybe write that question out and send me a picture or something on my email, and I can try to find your mistake. So that's fine. We can do that. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is the Student Success Center that's on campus, and you can schedule time with them, and they will help you for a full, I believe, up to an hour at a time. So that is a very good resource for you. The third way I'll have to show you once we get in my math lab, because there's a way that you can get help on my math lab that will help you with the assignments. Calculators. The calculators are not allowed in this class. No prep class in the state of Florida allows calculators. So you want to make sure that you are not using a calculator either on the test or on your homework. All right. At any time on my math lab, you'll be able to see your grade. So all you have to, it's right there. So you will never have to ask, what is my grade? Your grade is updated in real time as you do your assignment. So you'll always know what your grade is. Okay, so let's move on to the next section, and that is how to get on my math lab. Okay, you will have received a document from me, a student registration document, which will show you how to access the course. You want to go to register now and go to student. When you go to student, you will have, you will put in the email address that you want to be contacted at. Okay, the instructor ID is going to be at the, on the sheet that I gave you. It's going to say Wilson and then 5 numbers. So, but depending on who's watching this, I don't want to give the numbers out because the numbers could be different depending on what class you're in. And then, of course, your access code, that's how you pay. With the access code, that you can purchase that from the bookstore, credit card, or PayPal. Okay, once you register, you'll make sure you remember your username and password because I cannot reset that for you. And then once you do that, you're going to sign in with that username and password each time. Okay, so here's my username and password. I'm going to sign in. A couple things I need to tell you about. Okay, so where do we start? This is how it looks when you log in, and let me go to student home so you can actually see. So this is how the page on the computer looks when you sign in. And where you want to go is to start here on the left side. Oh, by the way, any announcements will be here. Click on announcements and you will see whatever announcements I have. And actually, I'll use this even more than I'll use Canvas. So you really want to get in here and look at these announcements and also tabs on the left side. So that's where all your important things are. Most important are start here in Gradebook, and of course, any discussions. Okay, so start here is where your assignments are. You want to start by going to the pre-algebra review. Okay. And you just, and it always gives you the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and you just go through it. Now, remember when I told you that we have 3 tests, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3? Well, here are the assignments that the tests cover. Okay, so Unit 1 test will cover 9.1, 9.2, 3.2, 9.3, 6.5, all the way to 10.7. Those are the objectives that they cover. Okay, and so this is the reason why you want to do as well on each of these as possible, because this is literally what the test is covering. So if I go to 6.6, I need to do one that has more. Yeah, okay, this is a good one. 6.7, you can hear the first step is always to watch the video. Now, if it says watch the video, and look, it says, we're sorry, you can't, the video you have selected is not available for your device. And okay, so then I'm going to have, on the main menu, let me go back to student home, under the announcement section, and I don't have it up right now, but on the announcement section, I'm going to have a link for you to go to depending on whatever browser you're using, to make sure that you have the proper configuration on your browser settings that will allow you to watch videos. Okay, so because each person is different. Okay, so depending on what, if you're using an Internet Explorer or Safari or Google Chrome, and Google Chrome, by the way, is a recommended browser, but right now I'm not using that. All right, so start here. Unit 1, 6, 7. Okay, so that's first. Step 2, it says read the multimedia e-text. This is the textbook. So this is actually the textbook. And this is why I got some emails. Should we use a textbook? No, it's not necessary to use a textbook because the textbook is online. In fact, when I teach this in a face-to-face class, this is the exact book that I'm using to teach the class. So, but this part is actually not as necessary. You can go through it if you would like, and see some of their examples. Okay, and if you like to give yourself extra homework or practice problems, you just go down to see where it says review. So it has some problems here that you can give yourself, but that's not necessary. Once you get the video, you can start right on the homework. If you've taken good notes, a lot of times you can skip this step here. Now, the homework is what I want to discuss to you. As you can see, the due dates are here. You got to pay close attention to these due dates. As you can see, for this particular class, assignments are already due by the 24th. Okay, and that's 4 lessons. So you want to stay on top of that, and do the lessons. When you click on the lessons, let's click on one of these. As you can see, each lesson has a lot of problems. Now, and so basically what you want to do is you want to just go through all the questions, okay? Now, I told you I was going to tell you about a way to reach me. So here's question number 9. And as you can see, you would go through the work. This is where you would take your notes, do the best as you can, and then you would give an answer. If the answer is wrong, the neat thing about this is if the answer is wrong and you put check answer, it will tell you that's not correct. But that's not the end of it. You can work the problem again and change your answer. And this is the reason why I like the online class, is because you're getting feedback. You don't even get this feedback even in a face-to-face class where you're doing homework. You may not get the feedback to know if you're on the right track or not. And this way allows you to know if you're on the right track so that you can really know, okay, I'm understanding this, right? If you're constantly getting the answer wrong, you probably don't get it. Now, if you get all, and this is why I recommend that you try to get all 100%, because say you finish a lesson and it's going to update your score as you do this. And say you have 50% right. Well, those questions will probably be on the test too, because remember, these lessons are covered by the test. So the way that you do well in class is to make sure that you're understanding the questions. Okay, I want to tell you that the amount of time people tend to misjudge the amount of time that it may actually take to finish one of these assignments. I've had some students who said it has taken them 2 hours to 3 hours sometimes to finish one lesson. Now, for an easy lesson, you could probably get it done in an hour. The reason I'm saying 2 to 3 hours for one lesson sometimes is so that you don't think that, oh, something is wrong with me because I'm taking so long to finish this assignment, even though it's still a prep class. And so you really want to spend time with it, and it will take some lessons will take a lot longer than others. So if that happens, know that, you're right along with everybody else. And that's why I say give yourself enough time. It's very difficult. It's actually harder in an online class to procrastinate and do well. So I think that's a good way to put it. So you make sure you keep on top of things. It's online, but you still keep on top of things, and you can handle it, and you can do well. All right? So this is how to get through it. Oh, and by the way, I did say I would tell you how to contact me. So on each question, there's a question help here. And by the way, if you click this down arrow, you'll see all the questions. You can jump through one. You could also see your score there. But if you go to question help, you see there's 2 things here. Let me discuss 4 of them. Actually 5. Help me solve this will what it will do is it will solve this problem for you. But what it will do is it will mark the problem wrong because it solved it for you, and you will have to click similar example at the bottom. You know what? Let me do it because that way I can show you. Okay, so they want to take me through the problem. So they're teaching me how to apply distributive property, which means the 3 goes on the 5t and the 3 goes on the 9, right? And so they're just trying to see if I know. Okay, so now they're asking me to do this. So what is -3 times 5t? What is -3 times -5? I would have to put that answer there. But once I do that, you see how is there an X there? That problem is now marked wrong. Okay, so how do I do the problem over, get it right? I want to get the problem right. Well, I have to go to question 14. And I would literally have to do the problem over again, okay? And they may have changed up my math lab a little bit because, no, I think they did change the problem, yeah. So when you do it over again and check your answer, it will mark it right. Now, and let me go to 15 now to show you what happens if you go to help me solve this. If you go to view an example. If you go to view an example, what they'll do is give you a similar problem, but not the same problem. See, those are different. The neat thing about doing a similar problem is you can work the similar problem out in your notebook, but they don't mark it wrong. Okay, so you have to do which one you think you need to do. The similar problem, and then you go back and do this one, or you do this problem and you do another problem. So, it just depends on you. The textbook goes to the textbook for this lesson. Ask My Instructor will send me an email. And it will send me an email, but you have to be very clear because remember, I'm just getting an email. I don't even know, in a lot of cases, don't know what you're doing, what problem you're on. So a lot of times it will send me the problem number, but it'd be great to copy this problem. If you're sending me an email, I'm not sure the computer's doing it here, but you can, copy that, try to see if you can send it to me, and that way I know what's going on. My answer was whatever, and then what am I doing wrong? You could talk to me that way, and I'll get that email. All right, and then the last one is to print it out. That's if you it will print that question, and then you can actually send it to me, because sometimes I'll say, hey, I can't see what's going on. Send me this, or you can send me your actual written work, and then I can look at it that way. Okay, so that's another way to do it. All right. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I have to cover for you today. I think this is it. You will be getting an email from me. Remember the dates. Oh, by the way, okay, so right now, as you can see, we don't have a lot showing. That's because up here, only homework is showing and only chapter 9. If you go to all chapters, now it's going to show you all the homework. So that's great. You can swap through pages down there. So now it's showing me all the homework, all the due dates here. And if I want to see everything, homework and quizzes, I can go to all assignments here. And now I see everything and all their due dates. This allows me to see the entire class, as it were, and when things are due. Do me a favor and write those test dates. Very important to write those test dates write them somewhere. And you should have a syllabus that has the lecture schedule would have the test dates. So let me bring that up. Okay, so for this particular class, here are the test dates. Okay, your dates may be different depending on what class you are in. Okay, but these test dates in red, these are the times that you will need to report to, or these are the dates that you will need to report to the Plant City Testing Center. But you will get an email from me with further information with the date, the time, the room number, all of that you'll get. But I want to make sure that you have the date so that you can go ahead and look in your calendar, go ahead and mark those dates down, because you will have to be there in person to take those tests. Okay, so that's very important. So that's one thing I want to emphasize again. Okay, and by the way, this everybody gets this. This is just another document showing you when various assignments are due. But all of this information is already online anyway, except for the test. You can see the due dates right here. So it's kind of redundant to have to look at that, but if you need a hard copy, it's there for you. All right. Well, I think that's everything, and hopefully we're going to have a great year. Remember, email me for any questions that you may have. If there's anything that you need clarification on, just let me know. All right, this is James Wilson. Again, welcome to 0018 or 0028, whichever class you're in, and have a great semester.